Welcome to today's video. As you can see behind me, we are going to give you guys a update on the Fast and Furious Supra. Craig Lieberman is here. He is going to go over some of the details. We are getting really close to the end game here. Lots to go over, and we're just getting started. Finally, you're here. My back's been killing me. This interior is a mess.
Holy cow.
Lot to go over with you. So thank you. Thank you for showing.
What do you mean it's a mess? You're halfway done. What are you talking about? It looks great. Why don't you give me an update? I see the body kit is now, it's all mounted, like seems to be in their final places.
It's
more or
not coming
less.
off again.
It's not coming off.
So what you see is actually going to stay. Now obviously the front bumper will be removed a few more times on and off.
I can't believe this. The clearances here, this is like Lexus stuff, 3mm, it's crazy. So then I gotta ask, if this hood is here, I thought I saw another hood when I came in.
You did actually see another hood. Let this be a lesson to all of you guys wanting to build a Fast and Furious Supra. There are multiple, exactly.
This is bigger than that. That looks more realistic.
This is correct to your car, your original car.
And I was noticing the nostrils, those seem like at a weird angle there.
Right.
But these seem better. That's more.
This is a wider gap. That's a narrower gap.
And don't forget, when we were building the cars, we didn't use the exact same parts and the exact same manufacturers, remember? Right. You know, Stunt 2 would be different than Stunt 1 maybe,
right.
So forth.
The car that sold at Barrett-Jackson for $550 grand had that hood. We're trying to stay true to your car as principal hero car.
And you have to, because
and this is the hood.
That was the one that was most photographed, because
Right.
after the movie, those cars disappeared, and the only one that still was left on the street was the hero car.
Right.
So that's the one we have all the pictures of.
We put so much work into this hood, but honestly, every time I saw pictures of this car, this wasn't right. These had to be higher because it showed off more of the polished bits and pieces under the hood.
Speaking of that, can we take a look at the motor?
Yeah, absolutely. Pop the hood.
Pop the hood?
Pop the hood. There you go. Oh, and that looks familiar.
We had the turbo installed. We had most of the stuff already installed, but we, of course, had to send them out to have them polished.
Right.
And we just got those bits and pieces back. We took the turbo housing cover off and sent that out. We talked to the guy that did our plastic chrome dip here and sent him the cover for the fuse panel, and that's hopefully going to be back in about a month.
Beautiful underneath it.
One of the things that I'm worried about is scraping this front end. So I talked to Richard over at B-Side Fabrication, and he's going to build us an underbelly tray that comes out all the way to the edge and fits really tight underneath this bumper, and he's going to structurally support it off of the actual frame rails.
What's this tire size? 250?
Yeah, they're 255s.
Yeah, I believe mine were smaller than that. I have to look it up.
Obviously, the barrel fitment's different. These brakes came from one of the guys that said he had all the original stuff. The wheels were supposedly the exact wheels that were on the original movie car, and that all turned out to be not true.
Not true.
So we ended up having to spend far more money than we wanted to because someone wasn't being real honest. These were actually fit for a Honda Civic. Live and learn,
So you got the fitment perfect, because the one thing, like I've talked about this many times, with my car, we didn't put spacers on it, and those wheels actually came off of my wife's Lexus GS400 initially. So we put them on here, and the spacing wasn't right for a Supra.
Right.
So they were tucked in, and I hated that.
Yeah.
But we've talked about this from the beginning, get the fitment right. Okay, so this is the fun part. You've got most of the equipment here, right? These pieces will be in a flush. They will be exactly lined up. For the trunk back here, you got this little battery that's going to go back here.
Right.
And then the tub is literally a tub. So this is the top of it, right? And it comes down into a valley. And then there's a pedestal that's shaped and formed with inserts for screws to hold the clear plexiglass tray for the amp.
Was the Lexan glass, was that half-inch?
Half-inch.
So I spoke with an acrylic company. Mm-hmm. They are going to make the Lexan plates that the 3 amps sit on. Was this underneath this or above this?
I'm pretty sure it's below. And the reason for that is because on top goes this PlayStation. So I'm going to move this out of the way for a moment. And it aims to the front because you have all your controllers in there, right?
So I've got all that figured out. We already have our brackets for the NOS bottles. We already have the NOS bottles. We pretty much have all that sorted out.
And this is going to help you immensely judge the distance between the back of the nitrous bottle to where this thing starts. You can see how thin that MDF is. See, you see the MDF and then right that, you see about a half an inch of like what something looks like white.
Right.
But you can tell that's actually acrylic. This is the same pieces of acrylic that they use throughout the whole car.
And this is illuminated here?
Yeah. It has a ring around it. The whole thing is illuminated.
But it doesn't shine on the bottom of the tub?
No, it doesn't shine because the light is coming out laterally. It's just bathed in light. I see a lot of parts disassembled over here.
This is the laminate that goes over the bezels. We have all the gauges.
The gauges came from Dave Jesko, who actually helped me build the original actual movie car. He just happened to have brand new boxes of like 6 gauges, all the ones we need and one that we didn't.
How cool is that?
So let's talk about graphics. So the paint's been color sanded. That looks like it's all sorted out.
It is, yes.
Okay.
We're going to take it to San Diego. We're going to have the original guys do it.
Modern Image.
Modern Image. And apparently they're not airbrushing the new graphics because modern technology, all that stuff is built into the program.
Back then they had to lay a certain number of layers on the table, and then where they needed the shading, they came in and did the airbrushing, and then the next layers went on top of that.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I remember those days.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That took hours to do cars, and when we were doing too fast, oh my God, it was a pain in the ass.
When you leave here, we're moving this back to the other side. Bumper's going to come off. Richard's going to lower the intercooler because you're not supposed to see a gap in between the intercooler and the bumper.
And they're going to powder coat those intercooler
yeah,
pipes.
Those are already getting...
with the wrinkle finish stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
These are temporary pipes. So we bought the wing, and supposedly the wing was exactly the correct wing.
Another lie.
After, forensic study of wings, the wing that we got, the stands were too thick. So sent those out. The end plates weren't quite right. We knew those weren't quite right. Had new end plates made. We narrowed the stands to replicate your original car.
Right. Are we still going to do that race? The Supra versus...
Have you seen the Charger?
I see it every time I walk in here, but we never talk about it, and I don't know
So,
why.
as you know, the original car had a fake blower, had a fake Anderle buzzard catcher on it, and that was all just for looks. The biggest challenge that we ran into is I wanted to take this thing to car shows and actually make it reliable enough to come home, right? We went with a 572 aluminum block, the real deal Hemi, Joe over at Hawaii Racing, who does all the studio engine builds, custom building a motor for us, and he actually found a brand new on-the-shelf Anderle 5-inch buzzard catcher. It's going to be a lot of fun having these two cars side by side.
Yes.
And that's going to be phenomenal.
When's first start for the Supra?
That could literally be coming next week. Yeah.
All right.
Are you going to come back?
Yeah, well, I'll let you do your video about putting all this stuff in and making it work and turn it on fill it up with the coolant, and then once the air conditioner is running, call me and I'll be right down. So guys, check this out. They just told me that they're actually going to be selling these body kits. Okay, so here's the deal. They're going to produce only 6 kits. 6 and done. That's it. Only 6. Forever discontinued. Done, done, done. $3,000 per kit. You have to leave a $1,500 deposit, and then your production time will take 6 to 8 weeks. Again, 6 kits. 6 full kits, and that's it. So if you want one of these kits, reach out in the video comments below. So if you want one, get it now. Once they're gone forever, 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 forever.